In today's video, we are going to be building the Costco Pergola or Gazebo 12 by 14 foot setup. And I'm going to do my best for you guys to point out the tips and tricks to put the thing together to save you time. So hopefully you can get it done a little bit easier yourself at home, all with your own basic hand tools. Let's get into it. So I like to read through the manual and then kind of pick out all the hardware for all the different parts that I'm going to be assembling. This will help save time, and then I just kind of assemble everything all together at once. So go ahead and locate your 4 major pillar beams. You're going to want to mount your attaching hardware to the bottom, and that's going to be your mounting hardware. You're going to secure it to your concrete later on, and the bottom is the opening. So I think it's easiest to lay them down sideways, and you can get access to both versus doing vertical. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. It's a little more tricky. Next, you're going to go ahead and you're going to attach the lower trim pieces to the beam. Make sure the beveled edge goes towards the top, and if they don't fit, you can kind of mismatch the different pieces to make sure they line up and they look really good for fitment. To save time, I went ahead and got all my hardware ready and all the pieces, so I can just zap them right on real quick.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Definitely want to invest in the power tools, guys. I couldn't imagine building this thing without them, but you can see the trim is on. It looks really good. Like I was saying, beveled edge towards the top, flat edge towards the bottom, so the brackets, everything, these are all done and ready to go. Now I got one more trim piece to finish and we can build the beams, and then we can get these up. If you guys have a table that you can use as like a portable workbench, I'd highly recommend it. After 30 minutes of building this thing on the ground, my back was starting to kill me. So use a table if you have it. Now we're connecting our beam pieces here. It's pretty simple. You've got these little connectors that go underneath. So just put under each hole, push it up and in, kind of into place lightly. You guys can see these pieces are clearly labeled 2196, 2198. Now that those are in, we can slide that over. That'll kind of help hold those little metal fasteners in. We can take our other piece and secure them with a bolt. Same combination: bolt, lock, washer, or washer. And I'm going to use my impact electric wrench on it. I'm finishing tightening them up by hand, just so you can get the right feel for it. The electric wrench, you know, I just got it kind of in soft mode. But once it's all tight, you should have quite a bit of resistance to not want to turn anymore, and you should be nice and flush underneath. Alright, so we built both the short beam sides times 2. So I've got 2 over there sitting here, and then there's another 2 here. So you've got the bolts and hardware have to face a specific way, so follow the instructions. It shows you how to do it. I went ahead and marked off the pieces as I was working just to keep things easier, so I knew which parts I was looking for. And they're all kind of spread out. There's some in this box, there's some in the other box, so you got to look for them. And they're all clearly labeled on the ends of the pieces. So we're going to set this piece with the bolts on top of that piece and then connect them together. So now you can see how all the corners kind of line up and then the holes shoot straight through. So we're going to use the same technique, big bolts and everything through. You got a bunch of screws that are going to go in, so we'll get all that lined up. Okay, everything's in. Get all the screw hardware fastened down. This one is done, and we can work on the one over there. So this is your sandwich plate that gives you extra strength. So make sure you line up all these holes, and then we're going to put the top board over it. Now it's the home stretch. We can finish putting in all of our wood screws and all of our bolts and hardware to get this beam together, and we can start assembling the actual structure. Okay, so I've got all my hardware kind of lightly attached here, all these bolts and these anchor point here. And the reason I left it kind of loose is on the first one I tightened them all down and the board was kind of off. So what I'm going to do is line everything up. See on the ends here how this is off. So I'm going to line everything up, and then I'm just going to sink down all my wood screws, and then I'll tighten the bolts down. That seemed to work really good on the first one, so we're going to do the same thing here. Look how big these guys are. Nice looking pieces of timber. These took my wife and I quite a while to build. Took us about an hour and 20 minutes just to put those two beams together with filming and everything. But we've got the two long beams, the two main short beams here, and we've got our 4 posts. And this is my first time ever building anything like this. I haven't watched a YouTube video myself. If I can do it, you guys can do it too. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know if you guys can hear those coyotes, but I am so excited to get this thing built over in the corner of the yard. We've got sun that rises in the morning over there and sets over there, and it's pretty much in the backyard all day. So it's going to give us a nice shelter to hide both from the sun, as well as we have monsoon season with heavy rains here 3 months out of the year. So it's going to be a nice area to set this up with on our patio. And stick with me guys in the video. I know that this video is kind of long, but if you can get to this point, I think the next steps will be fun when you actually start putting the beams up and mounting the posts and everything all together to get the structure built. Okay guys, so in the instructions it says you use 3 people to kind of erect the structure. My family's sleeping this morning, so I decided to kind of build it. You know, if you watch builders build a wall in a house, they build it and then they stand it up. So that's kind of what I was thinking, something I can accomplish by myself. And so I got everything bolted together. Make sure the holes that are drilled through the primary beams, they need to be towards the bottom. So if you flip that thing around and you have your holes on the top, that's wrong. You need to make sure they're in the bottom. And then you just follow the instructions. The primary pillar, support pillar or support beam, the long way goes with the long beam, the short way goes with the short beam. So yeah, let's go wake up my family. Let's stand this thing up. Alright, now I can tighten everything down by hand. Make sure that's good. Time to adjust the 4 posts with the level, get everything tightened down, and then we can put the secondary leg bolts in and then attach the corner pieces. For anything that you're going to mount a leg bolt into, make sure you guys put the 1/8 inch drill bit in and do a quick pilot hole. Well guys, that's going to be it for day 1 and for video episode 1. I call that a success. The structure is completely up. It looks fantastic. It went together very well. And yeah, had fun building it. Planned for about 8 hours to get to this point. That's how long it took us to do all this. So I wanted to break today's video up. I wanted to break this build section up into 3 parts. The first video is going to be the structure, the frame. The next video, I'm going to show you guys how to drill the concrete and leg bolt this thing down, which will just be a quick video. And then the last video will be the roof. So I'll show you guys how to assemble the frames, mount the roofing and everything to finish off the structure. If you guys would like to follow that, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. That way when those videos go live, you guys can follow along. And as far as what I think about the quality of this, really the only thing that I didn't like that I wish Yardistry would have done, and I understand why they do it this way, but see how all these beams are put together. You've got the outside beam, which is 2 pieces. You've got the inside beam, which is 1, 2, 3 pieces, plus the metal in between. So it's very time consuming to build those. Personally, I would rather have had just one huge solid, 14-foot piece and one solid 12-foot piece. It would have saved time in assembly. And these things are, they're kind of hard to get exactly straight because there's several pieces of wood, but it did turn out good. And for the price, I'm very happy with what we got. I definitely can't wait to finish this, and we'll have some shade, to hide from that sun up there during the day. But until the next video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave me some comments down below. If you have a question about something, make sure you drop that down below. I'll try to answer those for you. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.